Alright, we're back. Okay. I've already previously cleaned the cylinders up. So what we're going to do is we're going to lubricate the bottom of the cylinder here. We need to get the base gasket also. These old gaskets here. The Teflons are the older ones. The new ones are paper. These are, they keep changing the head gasket materials, base gasket materials. Whatever's cheaper, I think is what they're using. So these gaskets here go on here. Appear to be pretty loose. Looks like they do line up pretty good. They do have a lot of clearance in them this way, so they should move. So there's not going to be a problem putting the pistons into those in there. Okay, we take a little oil. I lubricate about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of cylinder here. A little thin coating of oil. Don't need a lot of it in there, just a little bit. As it shoves it through the cylinder, it'll lubricate the whole cylinder. So you don't have to lubricate the whole cylinder, it'll do it by itself. This way it cuts down the waste if you haven't wiped it all down. If you don't wipe it down, you won't have a bunch of oil on top of your piston, which is a bad thing anyway. Okay, there you go. So you just lubricate the top part there only. Okay, this is the rear cylinder because it has the notches right there for the bolts. That'll be for these two bolts right here, so you get them in and out. We don't have no bolts over here, so you don't notch the front. Because the cylinders are identical other than that. Okay. Lubricate it again. Next thing to lubricate is our piston. Inside the pin grooves here. Make sure you can see in there it's got oil and everything. No reason to lubricate the wrist pin when you put it in, just lubricate the piston. It'll have oil in there when you shove it all the way through. Keeps the mess down. If you're not covered with oil and grease, and your parts don't, and your tools don't get to be that way. Oil and dirt will attract a lot of dirt real quick, so just put the oil where it needs to be, not everywhere. The rings I leave dry. Okay, so now we put the piston in. Okay, this is our front cylinder because there's no notches in here for the grooves, see? So make sure you get the one with the F on it for front. Wipe off the flange there. Okay, so the cam side is the side that had the clip in it. Cam side would be called push rod side, that'd be this side. So that means this piston goes in like this. So the way you install the piston is, you go where the rings are, in this case in the back, you push with the two rings in the cylinder, and you kind of push the rings together like this on the back side and you shove in at the same time. The piston will go in. This one's fighting me because the piston's so tall. The piston's real tall like this up here, it's hard to rotate it. Get it to start. Where's our gap at? Gap is right here. So it's in the cylinder right now. My fingers on the backs are on the ring. I just push them in. Push the ring back in with my fingers. And top ring is in. Second ring is over here. See, it's already in the back here. I didn't really want it to be, but you shove this ring in. See how the ring is in on this side? Got to get up in the air. So the ring will slide that way. You go here where the gap is. Now you can shove it in like that. Go over here, push it in with your fingers. Goes in. The oil ring gap is right here. So same thing. And the oil ring gap is over in here. And we have a problem with this is the oil ring rolled over on us, I think. So, right now the oil ring rail is overlapped. So I haven't taken these rings out, I was just reusing them, so now they are in the wrong spot. Okay, so now we get to redo all of this. Pull the ring off. Usually oil ring rails don't screw with you, but in this case it is. Gap is right there. Where's the gap for the ring? Go around the circle enough time you'll find it, right? Don't see it. Yeah, I know where this one's at. Usually don't pull the segment out first. In this case we are going to. Gap's over here somewhere. There it is. Got no fingernails left. Okay, the oil ring is now out. What happened was instead of button up like this, it was overlapped like this. Can't put together like that. So, take your gap, stick it right there, bring it around, take your oil ring, this one was on the bottom, this is on the top. Top one will have less wear than the bottom. So see how this has almost no wear on it? It was on the top. So this one is on the bottom because it has all the wear. Rings push down when they work. This is the part that's next to the springs. This is how it was wearing in the cylinder. Okay, our gap is over here. Take the other gap, put it over here, bring it around. Make sure that the ring is not overlapped. Now this oil ring will hold the segment ring in there where it belongs. It's right there. So the other gap is over here. Turn it 180 over. Look how the ring goes in. Goes like this. Roll it around. Pull over the other two rings. Drop it in. Okay, now that ring is not sticking up like it was. Run your thumbnail across and make sure you don't feel no double up area. Feels good. Okay, now I can put it back in the cylinder. That's what's known as it's screwing with me again. Okay, it goes like that. The ring gap is on which side? It was right there. The other one needs to be 180 away from that one. Over there. Okay, so now start there, compress the ring, goes down in there. Gotta keep pressure on the piston though, otherwise it just comes right back up. You can use a dolph if your thumbnails aren't strong enough. You can use a screwdriver, but don't use the point. Use the flat side of the screwdriver to compress the ring. You're pushing it right on the side of the ring like that, not digging into it, if you have to. Top ring's in. Second ring gap is right here, so you're going to get that started. Piston angle down slightly. Compress the ring with your thumb and your forefinger here. Put steady pressure on the piston. Boom, it drops in. The O-ring, we're doing the same thing. Okay, that gap is there, so I know the other gap is over here. It's already in. So I just got to push down a little bit. Now these are a little bit hard to push in, so what I do is I just tap them lightly with a hammer. So a plastic hammer. Just lightly tap it, roll it around. What wants to go in, that's what you're listening for. It's already in all the way right now. So you want that plop plop noise is what you're looking for. You're not trying to get anything else. Okay. If things aren't all bound up, this piston will move slightly, but not by much. Okay, we got to have this above the surface here to get the pin in it. Like that. Take our gasket, lay it in correctly. So this one's only got 2 holes in it, one over there, one right here. So you make sure these holes are all in there. If you go like this, we have one hole lines up but not the both. See, that hole lines up, these 2 do not. Here's a dowel. There's another hole over here. Flip the gasket over. Hole and hole line up now. There is no hole there. So you gotta make sure you put your gasket the correct way. So you make sure your holes are lined up. Okay, now we can take our wrist pin. I got this above the surface slightly, it should go in. I don't, so you see I'm gonna leverage it up a little bit. And as usual, things are fighting me. There it goes. Now you can put the cylinder up on the motor and just shove the pin in there and put the clip in there. So the cylinder's ready to go on the bike over there on the motor. And there's our interruptions for today. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to get the other cylinder together. We'll be right back. What are you doing, Scooby? You sleeping? Scooby to listen to that bike outside. He's ignoring me. He likes doing that. Alright, enough interruptions. We have a motor to put together. So we're going to put some oil on the crank here. So it's going to grab some the Maxima 2560. We're going to pour it on top of the rod. And that'll preload the motor also because it'll be oil and lower end at that point. Put about a cupful in there. Put it into your rods, lubricate the rods real good. Okay. Take a little cinder lube, I put on the wrist pin bushings. Right there. Oh. I like putting oil on the studs also to lubricate the threads so you get a little better torque. It's better to do it now than later because the cylinder covers up that area, so it's hard to lubricate it later. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the cylinder on it. Put the clip in the cylinder and then push it on down. Rotate it where it works best for you. So we're doing the left side, I forgot about that. Rotate this direction. See, I'm on the left side of the cylinder. Make sure you got the piston in correctly. This is cam on the right side there. Of course the gasket fell off since we did that. Okay, now we just go ahead and put this together. The gasket's going to fall down again. Just like that. Okay, so now we got the piston all in there. Everything just hanging like this. So I'm going to go and put our clip in there. I'm going to cover up this here so nothing falls in. These clips are probably made out of stainless, so they're going to probably not be very recoverable if you drop on the motor. It's not something you want in there anyway. Make sure you cover it up as best you can. If it goes in there, if it goes flinging, it won't go into the motor. Okay, it's going to be a little bit hard to put this one in because we don't have the piston to help us up now. Help us. So you want to get the the one leg of the clip in the hole. And you push the, you thumb the other part. Just kind of roll it all in there. So you got to lift up a little bit to get it to go up into the hole, like that. And it just goes pop in. Pop. Make sure it rotates a little bit. It did. Make sure you got some in play in your wrist pin. Don't have much, about 30 thou in there. So that's in there now all the way. That went in there relatively easily. As you can see now it's all the way in there. Come on camera, focus. So it's all up in there like you're supposed to be in there. So that's what you want it to be. Okay, now I just put a bit of oil on the thread on the piston skirts and we slide the cylinder down. And we'll have one down. One more to go. Okay, after you get that in there, lube the front and back. Just rotate and push down, or jiggle around, drop it down. It should slide down through like this a little ways. All the way down. Push it down the rest of the way. Hold the cylinder and pull the rod up. And you're ready for the next one. Now if the piston doesn't go up nice and easy, then there's something wrong. There's going to be some ring drag, but it shouldn't be binding real hard. If you got the rings, like the O-ring full on top of itself, it'll be really hard to go up and down. If you break a ring or something like that, you'll have an issue. If you jam a ring up in there, it'll be an issue. All those things can happen. I'm going to put this gasket down now. It's out of the way. So we do the same thing again. Just lay it up in here. Hang there. And cover up the hole again. I'm going to try to put this clip in there. Let's see, that last one went pretty easy. Let's see if we can do the same with this one. Ding, 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 ding. Yep, it's in. It's all about how you lay it up in there. And I got a good way of holding it right now. I'm using the piston design to my advantage, so I can leverage in between the two sides. So see, it popped right in there, no problem. Always want to make sure it's in there good. Make sure your wristband's got a little bit of in play. If you don't have a little in play in your wristband, it's probably clipped probably in too deep. It moves. Okay. Get your piston again. Jiggle around, don't cut the gasket off. There you go, that one's all the way up too. Okay, now I usually like to make sure the motor rotates over. Oil on my hands. Okay, where's my wrench? So I got my wrench to turn the motor over. Now, as long as you turn the motor over backwards, the oil will stay in the crankcase. Once you go forward, it'll go over the gear cover. You want to keep it inside the crank. So it should turn over nice and easily. I'm looking at my lifters over here to see where top dead center is on the overlap stroke. Okay, these two lifters are now staying down. So top dead center is right there. It's on the firing stroke. So I was watching the lifters going up and down here. These ones quit moving. These ones over here are now going up and down. If you look at that one, that one's way high up on the lifter block. That one's way down low because this valve is open almost all the way right now. Both of these two, if you look at them, are way down the lifter block, pretty far down. So that's top dead center compression stroke. It could also be top dead center on overlap stroke, like this one would be if the piston came up another inch, because those valves will be open. Don't adjust your valves there, adjust them when they're closed, like that. So there you go, nice and simple and easy. You can wipe off the excess oil in the chamber if you want, or leave it. Doesn't really make that big of a difference. We didn't put much oil in there. Okay, I'm going to get the heads ready to go. I'll be right back.